Okay, now we are live, so we should be on our best behaviors.
No, that's Nitin, you and best behavior. Okay, let me not. We are on live. Let me not get into it. Sorry. Apologies, Nitin. Okay, think we are. Yes, we are. Yes, the live feed's working. So we are 27 participants down. I'm expecting at least another 10 more. Do we get started? We are already 4 minutes past 7.
Sure.
Okay, maybe you can start with introductions.
Yeah, I will just do that. Just making sure that we are recording and we are live. All right. Good evening, everyone. It's my utmost pleasure to introduce Aida and Patricia. Pat, as she is very kindly allowed me to call her. They're joining us today from Argentina, and I really appreciate their working around their calendar to make it at our time zone and slot. I know of the times that I've got them to tune in really early in the morning so we could connect and chat. So something about Aida and Pat, both hold PCC from ICF. Both are associated with the ICF board in Argentina. Aida was a board member from 2015 to 17, and Pat is part of the current leadership on till 22. Both Aida and Pat have partnered at various times to design programs for accreditation by the ICF board. Both coach, both mentor individuals and corporates across the world. For some more introduction on Pat, she is a CIQ practitioner. She has a diploma in positive psychology. She holds a business management diploma and a post-graduation certificate in management skills. Wow. She is also a translator and interpreter of well-known coach trainers for their books and papers and workshops, both in Argentina and abroad. So if any of you have a book within you and want it translated, well, you don't need to look any further. Moving on to Aida. I first met Aida while she was, part of a pro bono initiative in India, providing supervision for coaches. And I was, very excited to be part of it. And I was truly blessed to experience supervision from her then. And then we lost touch. And then it got reintroduced thanks to Rashmi Shetty from Bangalore a month back, and our paths crossed again. So Aida is a coach supervisor, accredited ESIA by EMCC. She's also currently a member of the Council of Ambassadors of the ICF Foundation. She's an active member of the Climate Coaching Alliance, and some of her chapter members I know are associated with it. During 2020, when she was contributing for a pro bono program offering groups of supervision in India, she was, I know, offering quite a few programs, and I know that one of the online platforms truly used her expertise, and many of us benefited from her supervision at that time. So I have been, Rashmi, could you support me in just muting? I think someone's off, yeah. Anyway, so we are on to today on ontological coaching and understanding distinctions and ontological coaching and how we could use them. I've been personally very curious, and I'm really looking forward to Aida and Pat helping us understand more and how we may use this framework in our practices. So over to you, Aida and Pat.
Pat, would you like to talk a bit and then I continue and start on?
Thank you very much. We are very pleased to be here, and we hope that in just 1 hour we'll be able to show the basics of ontological coaching that we love so much. So we hope you will find it interesting.
Yeah, thank you again. Very honored to be here and sharing this space with you all. And I want to move on because so we have at least some time to give you some superficial distinctions, and we want to get to a small practice session so you can see what we are talking in life into a coaching session. So, Pat, do you want to start the presentation?
Yeah, well, the takeaway will be you will have the basic distinctions, just a few, and then you will see a live session, as Aida said, and we will debrief if we have the time. So we will try to be on time with everything we have prepared for you today.
Yes, and since I know that you are all an experienced group of coaches from the ICF, there are many things that probably will be new for you, or probably you will be able to just give name and last name to things that you are already doing from the ontological perspective. So we are going to share. It's not that you are going to discover, wow, many things you are already doing, but you'll see how they connect to this ontological approach that is a mainstream in Latin America. And let me tell you a little bit about this ontological coaching in Latin America. Many decades ago, it started mainly from a biology perspective from Humberto Maturana, and then developed by Echeverria, Olaya, Fernando Flores. And they really made a strong ontological approach that we will be talking about during this session. And this is actually the mainstream of coaching in Latin America. Mostly, most of the coaches in Latin America are ontological coaching, so it's very familiar to us. So why are we sharing? Because, well, from your colleagues in the chapter, they were curious about learning a little bit more about the ontological distinctions. And since we are in this ongoing learning business, we wanted to share with you so you can have keep learning and have more distinctions to include in your toolbox to serve your client. So let's move forward, Pat, please. We want to, and since we don't want to go from scratch and we are going to discovering something completely new, we want to really build on what most of you are doing. And Pat and myself, we do teaching in an ACTP program where we offer all different models. We link how they build and how they give us more tools to work with our clients. So let's connect mainly with the GROW model. So with the GROW model, as you know, in the 80s, it was Alexander Graham and Fine and John Whitmore who developed this GROW model. And if we look at it, it was like planning your journey. We need to know where we go. We set these clear goals, and we do the same in ontological coaching. Then we look at where we are, what is our reality, what is our starting point. We believe in people's potential, and this is common for all of us. And actually, in our training, we always said that the coach is our pilot, and we are their co-pilot, that we are next to them by observing, by making questions to enlighten their journey to get to where they want to get. Then the exploring options, where we look at different alternatives, and then we will be connected especially with the ontological coaching, and the new actions, that what are we able to commit to go to make sure that we get to that goal where we said before. Let's go to the next one, so I will go back and forth. The different focus actually is that in the GROW model, we focus mainly on actions. But please, can you check the time for me and let me know when I'm getting closer?
A little bit faster. And Aida, please check your microphone because there's a little noise. So maybe.
Okay, thank you. I had to. I forgot to do this. Here it goes. Okay, thank you. The GROW model, we focus on actions. What do we do to get to these goals? In the ontological model, we really focus on the way of being. And let me go back to the previous slide, Pat, please, so we can see how we go. When we are working with the ontological model, and again, we are going to start populating this growth model with ontological distinctions that you will listen deeper with Pat later. When we establish the goals, of course, we go for a SMART goals, but we really connect with the emotions, with the motivations. We're giving the sense from our heart to achieve that purpose, that goal that we want to get. When we go to the current reality, we really are how we are observing the world, what is happening to us, what are those emotions that we are having that are locking us to be in that reality and doesn't allow us to move forward. Believing people's potentials, as I told you before, when we explore the options, we really go deep on who we are. How are we observing the world? What is happening? How these emotions are locking or unlocking us to move forward? And of course, the actions is that commitment that would allow us to move to that more concrete goal that we are accompanying our client. Can you move to the next one, please? Because I want to show you one model that is basic in ontological coaching, that the model is called OSAR, and it goes by O, observer, S as systems, actions, and results. And of course, we are always seeing the results will give us a measure whether we have achieved things, our goals. And how do we see that? We connect them directly to the actions. What are the tasks? What are the activities that we do to get those results? And we consider that this is the first order learning. But if we go back a little bit further and we reach out the observer and we reach out how we are observing the world, what are those interpretations that are allowing us to move forward, that are instilling us to get to that goal or blocking us, we'll be able to make a more sustainable change. And when we talk about sustainable change, is something that will last longer, but not only that, something that will include new distinctions and will learn more about us that we'll be able to replicate later in different situations. And how do we consider that this observer? By the conversation existing between these three domains that Pat will go deeper about how we work with the language, how the emotions impact in our language, in our actions, and what is the relationship with the body. So these are the three main domains that we consider in ontological coaching. If you go to the next one, so because I really want to have conversations later, so I prefer to go kind of do this introduction to ontological and see the difference, and Pat will go deeper and we'll try to get something out of this session together. So this ontological theoretical framework, as I told you, it's coming mainly from Chile. And actually, as Echeverria says, the results in life are the fundamental criteria to evaluate our behavior, and they are connected to actions. But every result will be only explained by these actions, but these actions will be produced by who are we as observer, what is moving us to do what we do, to say what we say, or to avoid saying what we are not saying. So when the observer defines some interpretations, those interpretations will lock or unlock those actions and therefore the results. So we're going to be learning some distinctions, and after, and we invite you to really pay attention to especially what Pat is going to be telling now, because when we do our coaching demo, we would like you to be paying attention where you can identify all these distinctions to start identifying them for you in your coaching sessions. So I don't know how I'm the time, but I prefer you to move forward. Okay.
Okay, Aida, as you said, ontology is the study of being, right? So this is a strong theoretical framework built around two key questions. What is it to be a human being? And what does it mean to live and work well? So we move on. What do we understand by way of being? Way of being can be regarded as the underlying determinant of communicative competence and behavioral effectiveness, which is the cause for deep change, or the source for deep change. Can also be regarded as the driving influence of behavior, which produces major shifts. And it's also the internal reality we live in. Our internal reality means also, or includes, the relationship we have with ourselves. So all this is what we understand as way of being, and this is what ontological coaching focuses on. Pay attention, please, to this communicative competence, because in the communicative competence, of course, language has a lot to do. Ida, a few minutes ago, spoke about the 3 domains of being them language, body, and emotions. Why language? Because language creates, in this model, language creates reality. We live in interpretive worlds, so we don't see things as they are, we see them as we are, through our observer, through our lenses. And a change in our observer leads us to second order learning, which is the real source of transformational learning. There is no true change unless that change is transformational. Second order learning means changing the way we see things, changing our internal stories. We spoke about the observer. For those who might not have clear what the observer is constituted by our beliefs, our values, our context, our background, our culture, our frames of reference. In other words, a set of basic assumptions or standards that determine and sanction behavior. All those can be reviewed. What we like about ontological coaching is that it's focused on the possibility of changing. People can change. You can change your way of being. You can change your observer to achieve different results. We spoke about the 3 domains of being: language, emotions, and body. And if we focus on language, for example, this is what happens in conversation, right? In our sessions as coaches. Firstly, we listen to the language, to how the coachee expresses the issue, right? The dilemma he brings to be coached on. Now look at that. I wrote I am because whatever follows I am is the story we tell ourselves. The story we tell ourselves. Stories and narratives are silent, invisible. They are in background of everyday conversation, and they provide powerful contexts of meaning that tell the person what is possible and not possible for them. I want you to pay attention. I invite you to pay attention to these 3 things that are in inverted commas. If I say I was born with strabismus, this is something I have in my eyes before I go to surgery, if I can. I was born with strabismus. But if I tell myself that I am ugly and unattractive and that no one will love me, see the power of these stories and narratives, how I see my reality, how I observe myself in the world, and which possibilities I have from that. Okay, this seems like very basic, but it's all about our way of being. And of course, this creates moods, emotions, and even with an impact in our body, right? Am I clear? Am I speaking too fast? Please let me know if you can follow. Thank you. And we spoke about body and emotions because our way of being is embodied. Our posture, for example, are subtle configurations of muscles and skeleton that we learn throughout our life. And we can use our body to achieve or to have more constructive and productive moods. What emotions or moods do we need to achieve different results, to achieve different outcomes? Emotions, on the other hand, permeate everything we do, and they predispose us towards certain behaviors and not others. So it's very important for us to bear in mind as coaches all these three domains to see if there is consistency, if there is coherence in what the coachee says and how he feels and what's going on in his or her body. Any doubts? Because I can't see you. I can only see 2 or 3 faces and no one else because I'm sharing the screen. Please let me know if you have any doubts.
But I
Yes.
would like to add that when we teach these distinctions for students, for new coaches, we really work a lot on how do we see that in ourselves. We work a lot in ourselves. We do a lot of inner self work that will allow us to identify what is happening to us, to be able to see how our coachee, what kind of questions can we ask to our coachee to accompany them in these domains. Thank you.
Then, Aida, thanks for bringing that, because when we have some kind of issue with the coachee's issues, then we take that to supervision and we get supervised on what's going on with us and that coachee and the coachee's issue. Isn't that so? That's why supervision is so important. Okay, so. Now, well, we have pretty nice time to go to our model session and maybe then debrief and share a few minutes with them. So
as Paz was sharing with you, pay attention. This is going to be a 10-15 minute session where the listening come out, what kind of linguistic interventions we have, what is the language, how do we question the language, what are the facts, as Pat was saying before, these assertions, what are the opinions, what is something that we can kind of question to our coachee, because they come as opinion and they come as a truth that is probably their truth and it's not the truth. How the body and emotions intervenes on what the coach and coachee can do together in the session. So let's make a try. We were talking about with Pat on a topic that we always, we work a lot together. So you'll see what happened between us, and you'll tell us what can you see new. What are the distinctions that you are taking away, and how do you see that in the session? So the only thing is that if you can put your videos off during the session, so only Pat and myself are in Zoom, and we'll do this brief coaching session. Great. Well, Pat, it's great to work with you again. So I'm not going to explain you, and I know that everything that we are doing is also embodied into the ICF definition that we have forgotten because we have assumed that everybody is into that. But we have only a few minutes, and I want to ask you, what brings you to this session?
Well, Aida, you know that I've been working a lot lately. I'm very happy with my job. I love my job. I love the people I work with. I'm usually a very committed person. I try to do as much as I can. I'm pretty overworked right now. But the point is that I've been pretty upset. I've been feeling very angry. I don't really know why, but I'm not so pleased at work as I used to be. I feel like overworked. I feel like I have a backpack on my shoulders, and I don't like that. So what brings me to this session is, I don't know, I try to figure out, explore what the reason is, why I feel this way, really. I feel awful, I feel upset, very upset.
So I'm listening to you, overwhelmed, that you are upset, you're tired.
Mm-hmm. And I have this backpack on my shoulders.
Tell me a little bit about this backpack, please.
Well, it's like, it's full of stuff, it's just full of my stuff that I have to do at work, and it's full of other people's stuff because they keep telling me to do things for them. I'm one of the senior people in the group. I know how to do the work. I'm pretty organized. There are things that I know how to, some applications and some tools that I know how to use. So everyone comes to me and everyone says, well, go and ask Pat, she'll help out. And then they come over to me and I just say yes, because I really want to help. And then, well, at the end of the day, I just can't complete my own tasks. And I feel terribly upset because I'm not doing either my stuff or other people's stuff. Or sometimes I'm doing theirs, but not mine. And I don't like that.
Okay, at the end of the day,
Yes.
how would you like to feel at the end of your day, of your working day?
Well, I would like to feel the way I used to. Tired, of course, because I have a lot of work, but pleased to have, this feeling of the job well done and, relieved. Not this upset, not upset as I feel now.
And let's be realistic. How do you think that this 15-minute session can help you?
Well, I don't know. Just try figure out what is it that I should do or change in order not to feel this way. I'm just tired of being the nice girl. I am the nice girl.
A nice girl. What
girl.
does it mean?
Well, I'm not a girl,
Well, that's okay. What does it mean to be a nice girl?
Well, I've grown up with this idea that you have to say yes, that you have to help people, that you have to be a nice person, especially at work. And now I find myself just saying yes to everyone's requests. And I feel upset and I feel guilty, because if I'm a nice girl and I like to help people out, then why do I feel upset and guilty? It's like, a mix of feelings that I don't like.
You just say it like this. You just do this with your hands. Let me ask you, what is the relationship between this nice girl and the backpack that you were talking before?
Well, being this nice somehow makes me say yes to things that perhaps, well, now come to think of it, it's interesting. Maybe I should look into that backpack and see what's in there and what's really mine.
What is really mine? What do you think? Whose stuff are you carrying in that backpack?
Well, it's like, ooh, interesting, because I can see a lot of my mandates, like I grew up in this idea that you have to be a nice person to everyone. So these are like beliefs, things that I like because I like helping. The point is where to set the limits, So in this backpack, I have like a lot of my parents' stuff, advice, ways of doing, ways of being that make you a nice girl. And then I have a lot of stuff that has to do with work. And it's a lot of my tasks plus other people's tasks. It's like a lot of things that make it pretty heavy, really. It's very heavy right now, and I have it like on my shoulders.
As I'm listening to you, I'm wondering what emotions come in your way.
Well, I feel frustrated. Guilty. I said I was guilty because I don't want to say no. I don't want them to feel upset with me because I say no. Maybe because, I don't know, I just don't want to be rejected, or I don't want to be seen as a bad girl. A bad girl, I mean, someone who will not help, contrary to what I think a nice girl is. So it's confusing.
But I'm listening to you that you don't want to say no. So if you say no, what do you say to the people? You say yes?
Oh, well, I say yes. Yes.
Okay.
I say many
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
I'm curious, if you say yes to the others, who are you saying no to?
Who?
To whom are you saying no?
Well, it's clear I'm saying no to myself. Mm-hmm. Maybe to my own time. Maybe to the possibility of coming home and spending more time with my family. And perhaps leaving work on time and perhaps going to the gym or doing something different for me. I say no to myself, clearly. Yes.
So?
So maybe what I could do in this session is go over these tasks, go over these beliefs as two, two separate things to be coached on. Oops. And then sort out priorities, maybe. I think that would be a good point, establishing priorities and saying, well, I should do this, I should do this is for me, this is for me and my family first. And then perhaps think of ways to say no to other people's requests when they request help, of course, and maybe be able to tell them that I can't manage or I can't do what they are asking me to do in those conditions, or just now.
Mm-hmm. But let's review. What did you say that you wanted to get out of this 15-minute session?
I just wanted to explore what is it that I should do or say in order not to feel this way, or just to feel more relieved, or to feel as I used to feel after work, more pleased and tired, but pleased and happy with my work.
Okay. I could identify a lot of movements, and I could see you with your eyes going up and down. Yeah. What are you realizing after this conversation?
Well, I can see that if I don't set my own priorities, no one will. When you ask me, who am I saying no to? When I say yes, I realize that I'm saying no to myself. I also realized that being a nice girl means paying a price that I'm not willing to pay right now. That I can still be nice, even if I say no because I can't manage. Well, a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. And from these conclusions that you are drawing, if we go back to that clear metaphor that you brought to the session about the backpack, tell me a little bit, what would you like to be there in your backpack?
Well, I would like to put there, again, these priorities, myself and my family. Then, of course, the tasks I'm supposed to do at work every day. Then how I feel, you know, I'll try to be, I'll be able, I will be able. I will be able. I will think of how I feel and I will react accordingly. Yeah, the moment I start feeling upset, I will probably, it will be like a warning sign, you know? And I will say, oh, stop, Pat, what's going on here? You know, in order to be able to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it right now. I'm sorry, I have my own work to do. I can't help you, I'm sorry.
So, how heavy will be your backpack?
Well, it will be lighter, for sure. Much lighter, yes.
Okay.
And at least it will have the items that I want to carry, that I want to carry.
That you want to carry. What does it mean? That you choose?
That I will put in there, that I will choose and I will put in there, not everybody else. I don't know if it's going to be easy, but at least now that I've seen it, it seems that I know where to go. Thank you.
Okay, before we close, tell me a little bit about your body, because at the beginning I saw you kind of with that heavy backpack, kind of. How are you feeling now?
Yes. Now I feel more relieved. I can even sit, I have a straight position on the chair. I can take a deep breath, feeling more relieved. Yeah, and I seem to have taken that guilt off my shoulders.
Wow. Well, congratulations for all the work that you have done and for your trust of bringing this issue to the session and the hard work that you had done in these 15 minutes. I hope that you can see yourself walking lighter as I'm picturing you now. Thank you, Pat.
I will. Thank you very much. Thank you, Aida.
So we'll invite the people to come back.
Can I request you all to come on video briefly, if you can? Put your videos on so I can take a picture.
Well, now it's your turn.
I can see Pat on the spotlight. So
you can see me? What?
Yeah.
Aida?
Yeah. Yes, I can see you in the spotlight in the biggest screen.
Really? Oh, because you have the speaker.
No, I don't know.
View.
No, I don't know.
No? Okay. Oh. I have the gallery view, so I see everyone.
Okay.
Well,
no.
Okay, Aida, over to you.
Okay. Well, I think that this is we would like to take these 10-15 minutes instead of going to small groups. We really thank you very much to accompany us. It's really there's something with a mic on. So we really would like to open up questions and answer, kind of comments. What have you seen? Whatever you think that is going to be worth. So by the end of this session you are having these takeaways and have kind of clear distinction, what are these ontological distinctions, how do we apply them? Probably some of them we didn't apply them because actually we are there in the moment, so we'll see. So who wants to start? And Pat, and let's move forward, both of us just kind of leading this conversation.
First, do you have any questions? Do you have any doubts? Is there anything you would like to share?
From the session and from the whole presentation, of course. Who's coming first? Rashmi, you were curious about ontological coaching and Yaya, so you may start.
I just saw me sitting there instead of Pat because that's exactly my problem. So,
kidding. That's exactly a lot of people's problem.
Yeah, so it was like me getting coached. The questions are similar, but my question, Ida, is since there is so much of observation of what the person is moving and how they're moving their eyes and their shoulder, when we have bandwidth issues during coaching and it's virtual, how do you pick these nuances of body language during a coaching session when you're using ontology as a base?
Because we are always looking at the coherence between what we think, what we say, and what we do. What we do is not only the task and activities, but also is what we say with the word, with our body. Because sometimes we might say, "I'm so happy," and that's not the same behind. So we it's not an assertion, it's kind of questioning to see if the coachee sees the link between what she's saying and what with the body, because sometimes nothing may happen. So they can discover what is happening, and this we look at this coherence.
Thank you.
But if you want to add something, be my guest, please.
Yeah, perhaps there are things that, remember I showed one of the slides saying that posture are a set of subtle muscle and skeleton arrangements that we learn throughout our lives.
Yeah.
So maybe we can intervene in the coachee's body by asking something like, well, how does a person who develops his or her self-confidence stand? So maybe the person just lifts, the chin a little bit upwards. And it's like, tell your body what you're working on. Tell your body, let your body know that now you're more you see, as I say it, I have like chicken skin. It's incredible. These subtle changes in posture, in movement in our body produce, it's like, how does it feel? Looking up, If you're designing yourself, for instance, for a conversation with your boss, I don't know, for a crucial conversation, which body posture will help you most? And let the coachee work on that, just straighten up the back, the spine, chin up, this kind of thing, Rashmi. This is how we intervene in body.
We intervene and we ask. We do not judge. Because sometimes
No.
the body, could be in certain posture that actually is saying something different. So we just ask. We are curious about that. And actually, when we ask, probably your coach is saying, well, I feel very confident. I say, how is your body looks like? And when he or she realized that her hands are like this, very tense, because we connect and we have sometimes the shows, the chin like this, very tense. So we intervene to check is there something else behind, because
and to make the coachee
our body,
aware.
and our body is our container. So we don't want to judge, because probably they might having another pain that is not coming from what is happening in the conversation. So we are just curious about that.
We try to make the coachee aware of his or her body.
Thank you.
How it can help him or her in whatever he needs to change or she needs to do, how the body can accompany that decision. Yeah, thank you. Any
Thank
other
you.
question?
Yeah, I have a question to Ida.
Sure.
Okay, so I was trying to discern the difference in language, right, between, let's say, assertion and declaration.
Yes.
Opinion somehow seems more intuitive for me. Now I'm like, there's a statement that you said, Pat, in your conversation that I'm just tired of being a nice girl.
Yes.
Right? It sounded to me like a declaration, but maybe it is your fact that you're experiencing. For you, it's reality. So I'm trying to make the distinction in my mind on how do I interpret that?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Assertions are facts, okay? In my example of I was born with strabismus, for example, that's a fact, okay? That can be seen. It may be either true or false, right? Then if I say I am unattractive because of this is an assessment. It's a judgment, right? It may be grounded or ungrounded, but still it's a judgment, okay? And then if I say no one will love me, this is a declaration. Because the moment I say that, I create a reality. No one will love me, so that will make me feel, that will make me stay home, that will make me hide from people, that will make me, remember the story I tell myself, it's not the truth. This is what the coach has to pick up and work on. What does it mean to be a nice girl? Of course, when I said I'm tired of being a nice girl, this is recognizing that there's something there. It's the first step, identifying what the problem might be. And then Ida asked me, what does it mean to be a nice girl? Because this is an assessment. It's my observer. And this is what I need to change. Yes, Ida, yes.
No, and we work on, I don't know how to say it in English, actually. Cuando desafiamos los juicios, sorry, in Spanish I'm going to say, desafiar juicios.
We challenge
yeah.
the coach's assessments about himself, about themselves, or about the world, or about their context.
Yeah.
Who says that?
We challenge them, so sometimes they're finished the session and this assertion is destroyed, it doesn't exist any longer. So you move the assessment, you move that client into becoming a different observer because the assessment is being destroyed by questioning, and they realize that it's something that we have make up in our mind and we are believing, and that's it.
And it's not true.
It's not true.
Because we tend to live. There's a little delay. Yes, Ida, sorry.
No, that's okay. Go.
I can't tell when you have stopped. You have stopped? Yes. Sorry for overlapping. We tend to live in truths. We become dogmatic in general because we turn to live our assessments as truths. The purpose of ontological coaching is to make the coachee aware of or sensitive to the conversations that are making him or her become what he or she is today, is being today. And this can be changed. And the limitations they have because of those internal conversations.
So I guess what you're trying to say is that in that statement that I was quoting, which is I'm just tired of being a nice girl, the fact that you are tired, that's a declaration. And the nice girl part is actually an opinion of yours.
No, the declaration actually came at the end when I said, I will I will review the list. I will set priorities. Then I will have to do it, okay? First, I will have to do it. I will do it. And I will show in my next session with Ida that I did my homework, okay? This is the process that we usually talk about.
Declarations, oh, sorry.
Declarations are, this is what we want. Yeah, yeah. Yes, Ida.
You're on mute, Ida.
We were talking a lot about the power of language because, well, the declaration is we really create a word reality with the declaration. When you call me and I say, well, would you like to offer ICF a webinar on ontological? And I say, yes, that was my declaration. I will do it and I commit to that. And I was creating a reality that you start planning the webinar and I start talking with Pat and we think about this webinar for you. So that is a declaration because, and actually from that declaration also, the declarations also helps us to build trust in the world, who we are. So we go again to who are we in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a comment on the chat, Ida. Could I read it out to you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jayashankar has mentioned that, he is introspecting on how preoccupied I am with doing. Have I overlooked or taken for granted by body language and my feelings? In the process, is my communication inconsistent with my intention?
Pat?
Brings me to
well, thanks for the comment. I really didn't understand very well if my communication is inconsistent with my intention. I really didn't understand very clear. So, Pat, if you can answer.
How preoccupied you are with doing, maybe what you have to review is your way of being, because your way of being will lead you to your doing. And if that needs changing, remember Ida spoke about first order learning, which is what you have to learn to do differently. However, there's a deeper process which involves transformational change that has to do with who you are. Then when you change your way of being, you will probably be doing different things. And then your body and emotions will be different, that's for sure. So have I overlooked or taken for granted my body language and my feelings? Well, there's no one better than you to answer that question. Actually, you should see that in a coaching session. But if you, that's a good point. It's a good point. If you're not pleased about what you're doing, then review who you are, your way of being.
And always remember that they go by hand, because we'll get results, as I was telling you in this OSAR model, we get these results. These results cannot happen without action. So don't disregard actions. It's important to do things. The doing is very important. But if we go further and we go to this observer with looking at these three domains that we were sharing with you, that actions will be more powerful, will be more kind of lasting impact, and will help you to observe yourself and get to know yourself, who you are. Because if we stay only in the way of being, nothing happens. We can look a lot, we can say, oh, I feel this, but if I don't take that to action, we don't make a change. We don't change behaviors. So everything is linked one to the other. But with the ontological coaching, we make sure that we go a little bit deeper. And I know, and by even I haven't been in India, but I know that you are really people that really connect a lot with deep insights in life, with mindfulness. So what I heard and I read from Julio Laya, that they talked that ontological coaching is the coaching of the soul. So and you are the experts, people from India. You have all these tools in your hands So it's kind of natural for you. I imagine. I'm making a judgment, an assessment.
Which
Probably I'm
sounds like
wrong.
an assertion. It's pretty much an assertion because it's a grounded judgment. So when judgments are grounded, they are not transformed into truths, of course, but at least when we ground our opinion, because by making assessments, we also make declarations in a way that we change the world, we change other people's worlds. For example, if I say that someone is not reliable, it's an assessment that may close a lot of possibilities to someone. So this builds a lot of responsibility. I mean, this creates a lot of responsibility on me whenever I give an opinion about somebody else. So again,
I'm talking about declarations. We talk about some basic declarations, saying yes, as I told you before with the webinar, saying no, because if I had said no, it's a new reality for you because you will have to plan something different for March. So saying thank you, saying I'm sorry,
saying I don't know,
saying I love you, there are basic declarations that really make a lot of impact in the world. And actually, if we go into the corporate world, into the executive coaching, into our own families, when we say yes or no, we make an impact, we create a new reality. But also, when we say nothing, we create an impact. So it's not only the spoken language; it's the unspoken language.
That's what we listen to as coaches, to the what's been said, what has not been said.
Any questions? Anybody else? Any reflections
I
or comments?
have a question.
Yes, Mukesh.
Sure.
So we talked about three things. One is language, one is body and emotions. I didn't get the third one. What was the third one?
Body, emotions, and language. And the body is very related to actions. Okay? Because with the body, we do things. It's not only the posture, but also we do things with the body. So are the three, and we go to the coherence that we were talking later.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? We are so pleased to be here with you.
Yeah, they say they're very grateful to have seen the live session, which is really, again, we are trying to be consistent with what we're saying. It's like, it's not just speaking from the knowledge point of view, but from, seeing theory into action. This is really very powerful.
That was very useful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question. Yeah, Payal here.
Sure.
So yes, lovely demo session there, because I think it clarified a lot of things for me. So thank you so much for that, first of all. Thank you, ICF, for organizing this. I think very insightful. So now the question to you, Ida or Pat, I mean, either one of you. So I just want this example, sharing this example with you to understand if I've got the assertion, the assessment, and the declaration right. So let's say somebody at a position of CEO or CFO says that I want to bring a change in the organization, maybe the culture or whatever aspect it is. So that's an assertion. I'm not able to bring the change. It's so difficult. I'm finding it frustrating is an assessment. I don't think it will change because people are just not ready is a declaration. Am I right there?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
If you have an answer to that.
No, I agree with you, Pat. It's not exactly.
So could you tell me how it would be?
When the CEO says that he wants to bring a change to the organization, this is a declaration in the sense that I want to do something in my corporation. This is the first step.
All right.
That's why he seeks help and he asks a coach to come in and work with the organization.
Okay.
Then when he wants, I'm not sure, I think that people will resist the change.
Mhm.
There's an assessment.
That's an assessment.
His
Okay.
opinion, because assessments are opinions. Just
All
let's put it.
right.
Assertions are facts, things that we can see that are true or false, but they have evidence. If I say
Yes.
I am a coach, I am a public translator and an
Mhm,
interpreter,
mhm,
you
mhm.
have my diplomas on the, well, that's not
Yeah.
necessarily evidence because they might even not be true. But that's
Like
evidence
I'm
that
a woman, right? I'm a woman
I'm
is
a
an
woman.
assertion. Yes.
I am 57. My
Yeah,
birthday
yeah.
is on April the 13th. That can be proved, right? That's true or
Okay.
false.
Yes.
So my responsibility is to tell the truth in order not to be considered a liar, right?
Yeah, yeah. Got that. Got that.
Then an assessment is an opinion. It may be grounded or ungrounded. For example,
Hmm.
the CEO may say, people might resist the change. And you as a
Hmm.
coach may ask, why do you say that? What do you see in your people? What do you
Hmm.
observe? Because it's the observer. It's not the truth. It's his
Hmm.
opinion about his people.
Right.
So the CEO will ground his opinion with facts if he can. And he may say, well, we have tried to migrate to SAP and we had a lot of problems, blah, 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 blah. He will give you
Mhm.
facts.
Hmm.
And then we tried to change to go digital, and all of our middle managers resigned because of
Okay.
that. Then we
Okay.
tried to change our brand image, and we had a lot of resistance. So he has evidence that in that
Okay.
corporation, people resist change.
Okay. So
Still,
is
it's an
that an
assessment.
assessment? But if
It's a
but it is
judgment.
based on facts, right? If it is based on facts, if it is grounded,
In
does it become
general,
an
it would-
assertion?
It's valid.
no,
Yeah.
not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's just a grounded assessment. It's
Ah,
not an assertion. The only
okay.
difference is that we are responsible for our opinion because we have evidence that it still may change, because still this change that the corporation needs, maybe the people welcome this change.
So okay, got it, got it. All right.
So
So
if I
declaration
say,
is I want the organization to change. Sorry, sorry.
absolutely, so I
Just
will do
summarizing
something about
it. Yeah.
Yes. And something
Assertion.
very powerful. Yeah, sorry.
Hmm.
Continue. Assertion, you were saying?
Yeah. So I got lost there again. Assertion would be okay. I think better with assessment now that okay, this is not happening because of this. So grounded or ungrounded. And assertion is facts, yeah, basically just simple facts. Yes. So he would say,
Yeah.
I'm the CEO of the company, and that is the assertion. Yes.
Yeah, I'm the CEO, and I've been with the company for 20 years. That's a fact.
Yes, that's a fact. Yes, got
And
it.
believe it
Got it.
believe it or not, if the CEO is saying I want a transformation in my organization, connecting to the emotions that this transformation will provoke could be very, very powerful.
Okay. So what kind of a question can I ask? Because if, let's say, if I'm in a meeting with this person over and over again, and I continue to hear that, I want to bring the change, but just not happening. I want to bring the change, but just not happening. So what is that question that I should ask?
Connecting with the powerful, smart, as we were saying at the beginning, exactly what does he want to be happening with his transformation, what that transformation will mean, what are the emotions, what will be happening, kind of helping your client to imagine that he's living already in that transformation, how that transformation is impacting the work and the life of all the people that lives in the organization, and getting him there, but fully, not only in words, but with his emotion, with his body, with the language that is creating this new possibility. So from there, offering to start opening new possibilities. So that's
great,
what
Ida. Great, Pat. Great. Thank you so
we,
much. You know
we,
what?
we can meet again because it's really, this is not it's been a really brief webinar. So as I told you at the very
It's an
beginning, this is
overview.
going to be very superficial. And again, we wanted to make sure that we don't, because when we learn things from scratch, and we don't build on what we are already doing, we are losing many things. So let's build together and integrate, as I told you, populate what you are already doing and bringing to life these new distinctions. And if you are interested, that's why we do with our students. We teach them a lot of models and say, well, then you'll have, we will be learning all the time as coaches. So if you are interested in learning on more ontological coaching, you have to move there or wherever, systemic.
Thank you for your answers, Pat and Ida. Thank you so much. You make it sound so easy. I wish I have you with me when I'm having this conversation with that CEO. So
I have just one more thing to say, and that's all for me, because I know we are available, but you might not. The question I would ask that CEO is, how convinced are you of the change? First.
Does that matter, Pat?
Of course, because if he's not convinced and if he's not committed to the change, nothing will change.
No, okay. I have to ask him. You said I should ask him how convinced he is of the change. Is that what you said? Okay, yes. Okay. All right. I thought you were asking me. So I was like, why would I as a coach? Okay.
No, because with Pat's question, you are bringing him to become a new observer. And when he realizes that he's convinced or not, he will start doing things differently.
That will permeate. It will permeate and it will cascade.
Yes.
Down,
so very right.
Down.
Yes. Thank you so
and
much.
All collaborators will buy in the change and they will follow him.
Right. So very right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question for you guys, Pat and Ida. There's a question on the chat. How can folks learn more about ontological coaching? Post this if you guys are free and some folks want to stay back, maybe they can stay back. But yeah, before we wind down officially, this question here, how do we learn more about ontological coaching?
I don't know the offer that you might have in India in ontological coaching. Again, we are very involved in, and we teach with a broader view, because we are not just ontological coaches. We integrate things, but we consider ontological coaching very powerful. So there are many offers. They can contact us, or we'll think together. And then
is there any resources you can direct them to if they want to kind of just dip their toes in and get a better clarity on ontological coaching before they choose to sign up for a full course? Is there something you can direct us to?
We can talk about that later, so we can give you. Let us do some research.
We don't know in English. We don't know in English what is available. There are many things available in Spanish, but that's why. With Pat, we are
this
used
is a
to
declaration. We will tell you. We will give you this information at the end of the webinar today, or during the day, or in just a few.
Awesome. Then when we will be sending across CCUs for the participants, and I could share with them as part of the email that goes, if there's any resources or links that you have, or any, you can direct us to where we could look up some more information.
Yeah.
And you have our presentation as well, just as an overview of what we've done here.
But you don't need, again, you don't need to become ontological coaches, but probably a brief course, if you are already practicing your coaching, some classes to go deeper in those distinctions can help you already change your observer as a coach.
Yeah.
But probably Rashmi and Yaya, who have experience supervision with me, you are identifying some things that I non-intentionally was doing in my supervision sessions from ontological point of view.
Yeah, I wasn't watching out for ontological coaching then. That was very early in my coaching journey, I guess, over a year plus over ago. For now, Lenny, could I invite you to for your closing comments. And if Pat and Ida, if you're free and you want to stay back and anyone wants to chat with you for a few more minutes, we can stay online for another 10-15 minutes after that. Over to you.
Okay, so I'm so sorry I'm butting in, Jayashree. I just wanted to
Yeah.
check with Ada and Pat that if it's okay, if you could share your email ID and if we could reach out to you, will that be okay?
Yeah, they could put it on the chat.
If you could put that on the chat box.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you.
So on behalf of the ICF Bangalore chapter, Ida and Pat, thank you so very much for making this a lively session. And to sort of put your assertion, assessment, and declaration in action, I heard you assert that most of the ontological programs perhaps are happening in Spanish and in Latin America. I would like to be curious about seeing whether there's any way of still not allowing this fact of having more Spanish programs or Latin American programs being demotivator to make sure that we learn a little bit more of ontology in coaching. And the declaration would be, we're going to see how we can make it happen, even if we don't know Spanish and the programs are mostly from Latin America. I'm trying to put together what you've taught us. I hope you've got somewhere close.
Thank you. Well, actually, I speak, as I told you, I speak English, and it was thankful to my Indian friends, colleagues in the university 30 years ago who helped me a lot. And Pat is a translator. So I'm a courageous, and she's a professional English speaker. So here we are to accompany you if you ever need anything. Count on us.
Thank you so very much. And I think, at the highest level of MCC, we always say, focus on who you want to be, right? Who are you? Who do you want to be? And I think that really defines, in some sense, the being of coaching and the being of your identity and what ontology is about. So thank you so much for a really useful session. And I hope our members have benefited from it. And thank you from all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Ida, will you write your email in the chat as they requested? There it is.
Yeah, Ida's is on the chat. I've shared it. Pat,
yours
yours is not on the chat.
I'm writing yours, Pat. I just wrote yours.
Thank you.
PG Traducciones. Is that right?
Translations. Yeah, this is the one I have in my cell phone.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And I hope that next time we can meet in person, because we would love to go there.
With our masks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
very
so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Yasha. Thank you.
Thanks, members, for making it happen.